on understanding. The pre-Socratic philosopher Heroditus is most famous for saying, "No man steps in the same river twice." This river is the river of time and an actual river. They both change, as does the man. But the quote I'm going to do today is, "Much learning does not teach understanding." I love this quote. I think it becomes more true as I get older. The quote definitely values understanding above learning. It does that by using the word teach. You can't be taught understanding through learning. It's impossible. So let's define these terms. Being taught, the most important one here, the verb, is when someone shows you how to do something and then you can do it without them. Understanding is that personal grasp of the task, that you not only could do it, but you could teach it to someone else. You understand its nature. You can not only perform it well, but you can talk about it in parts and as a whole, and this understanding you take with you forever. Now, learning, much learning. I think in this quote, learning is passive. You sit down and you listen to a teacher lecture, take a few notes. You allow someone else to do the work for you, some expert perhaps. A lot of education is learning in this way. You take a few tests, you get a grade, and then you take another class with more tests and more grades. But at the end of all of this, what do you understand? I think the quote would be misleading if it didn't use understanding and instead used knowledge. Knowledge is information that is understood for the betterment of the world and yourself. But just understanding to have a foundation in regards to some type of action or some type of state of being. Let's take an example here. Someone can say, "After many years, I have come to understand patience." Patience as a form of understanding the reason why we must wait and withhold judgment. So, much learning does not teach patience. Just giving an example of a type of understanding here. Let's see if it works. I can read about patience. I can watch someone else exhibit patience. But this passive learning will not teach me to be a patient person. There's some understanding, some foundation for patience that must be personal to me. And I cannot get it by sitting back and letting someone else work for me. Then there's the much. The idea that levels of education predict understanding. Someone with 4-year college degree or a master's degree or a doctoral degree understands more because they have been taught more. Well, how have they been taught? If they've been taught passively, where they just take a test, forget it, take a test, forget it, then they don't have more understanding with more learning. They just have more education, what society calls these degrees. The quote is very direct because it doesn't say education does not teach understanding. It says much learning. much learning is mocking here. It's derogatory. It's a way of saying that there's sort of no such thing as much learning. You either learn or you don't. And if you do, this much is not part of the equation. Understanding is personal, but it's socially constructed. We don't get to it on our own. We need examples. We need time. We need guidance. Perhaps these are better ways of thinking about learning than sitting back and letting experts tell us what's important.